Welcome to today's lab presentation, Lab 10, on parallelism. What is parallelism? Well, in writing, parallelism allows us to present ideas and information in a balanced and logical manner. Parallelism allows us to create emphasis and to help our reader follow our thinking more clearly. Single words should be balanced with single words, phrases with phrases, clauses with clauses, etc. For example, a kiss can be a comma, a question mark, or an exclamation point. This novel is not to be tossed lightly aside, but to be hurled with great force. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. In matters of taste, swim with the current. Let's look at an example of an unparalleled sentence. I like singing, kayaking, and to dance. Remember Sesame Street? We can see that one of these things is not like the others. So let's make the sentence parallel. I like singing, kayaking, and dancing. Parallel errors tend to occur when we offer a list of items. He had eggs, toast, and was drinking coffee. Errors occur when we make comparisons. The article is neither well written, nor did I get any good information from it. These two examples are not parallel. Errors can even occur with just two items. The party featured a towering cake, and there was a gorilla who sang. The cake and gorilla are not stated in a parallel manner. A towering cake versus a gorilla who sang. See how that's not balanced? Here's the sentence with parallelism. The party featured a towering cake and a singing gorilla. The adjectives and nouns are now parallel. The adjectives in this sentence would be towering and singing, and the nouns would be, of course, party in the subject. Cake and gorilla are the nouns that are parallel. Now let's look at a sentence where we make a comparison. You see a little picture there of Chris McCandless featured in the book Into the Wild. Chris McCandless believed it is better to seek truth from one's own experiences than to learn from authorities. Here's the sentence lacking parallelism. Chris McCandless believed it is better to seek truth from one's own experiences than learning from authorities. This is getting a little more difficult to perceive in terms of lack of parallelism, but stay with it and it'll begin to make sense. To seek should be parallel with to learn. In the unparalleled example, we see better to seek than learning from. That's not parallel. Better to seek than to learn. Now let's look at a sentence where we pair words using not only, but also. This is a common construction in English sentences. Not only, but also. Leo Tolstoy was not only a Russian writer, but also a social activist. Here's the sentence lacking parallelism. Leo Tolstoy was not only a Russian writer, but he was also a social activist. So it's getting more subtle, a little more difficult to perceive. The words Russian writer follow not only, so a social activist should follow but also. Repeating he was before also creates an unbalanced effect. So the best parallelism is Leo Tolstoy was not only a Russian writer, but also a social activist. Now it's your turn to try to guess a few answers. Choose the correct answer to fill in the blank. Ella's job responsibilities include something, training, and informing workers of company policies. Ella's job responsibilities include A, to hire, training, to hire, comma, training. Hired, hire? Something's missing. Can you hear what it should be? None of the above. Hiring, ing, is the correct answer. Hiring, training, informing. Henry likes pizza more than spinach. He drove to the store to buy milk, eggs, and bread. Tom jogs, swims, and kickboxes. For some English language learners, this sounds like it should be kicks boxes, as if kicks is a verb, but kickboxing is a type of sport. So Tom jogs, swims, and kickboxes. The film included many stars, used special effects, and violence? Included many stars, used special effects, and graphic violence? How about C? The film included many stars, used special effects, and it was violent. That sounds the best so far, but repeating "it was" doesn't seem appropriate. What's missing? I think it's none of the above. The film included many stars, used special effects, and we're looking for a verb. Used, included, and yes, we need a verb. Featured graphic violence. So the film included many stars, used various special effects, and featured graphic violence. In this case, we have three verbs that need to be parallel. I think that learning a new language is harder than learning math. Learning a new language, learning math. For some very shy people, giving a speech can be as frightening as giving a speech is parallel with having an illness, a serious illness. I'd rather be lucky or hardworking than to have talent. I'd rather be lucky or hardworking than having talent. I'd rather be lucky or hardworking than talented. I think talented is correct. And this illustrates that sometimes you can have an ing word, such as hardworking, and not have the other words also end in ing. That's because these are all traits. To be lucky, or to be hardworking, or to be talented. They're parallel as figures of speech, as parts of speech. Lucky, hardworking, and talented are all things that you can have, traits or characteristics. That football team has both a good offense and a good defense. A good offense, a good defense. Parallel. Bob is not only loyal to friends, but also he is friendly to strangers, but also to be friendly to strangers. Bob is not only loyal to friends, but also friendly to strangers. C. Loyal to friends, friendly to strangers. J.D. Vance is both a published author and he practices law and practices law. He's both a published author and a practicing attorney. You can hear the parallelism between those. Published author, practicing attorney. American essayist and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson encourages us not only to explore, but also to maintain a sense of perpetual inquiry. Not only to explore, but maintain. How about C? Not only to explore, but be sure to maintain. You can hear these are just not as parallel as they could be. It looks like A is going to be correct. Encourage us not only to explore, but also to maintain. We've heard this particular quote in our earlier labs. Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau show up from time to time as good examples of how to introduce quotations and how to cite sources, and also how to maintain parallelism in sentences. Speaking of Henry David Thoreau, here he is in his chapter from Walden Pond titled Where I Lived and What I Lived For. Thoreau writes that he went to the woods to live deliberately and wanted to discover, or B, discovered the facts, the essential facts. He went to the woods to live deliberately and discovered and to discover. Wait a minute, looks like C. Thoreau, that he went to the woods to live deliberately and to discover the essential facts of life. In May of 1992, Chris McCandless wrote that he would no longer be poisoned by civilization, and I'll let you look at this on your own. Look at A, B, C, and D perhaps, which one works for you. You can stop the video if you want to for a moment, and then we'll click through. So go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, and hopefully I'm not moving too quickly here, but it looks like B, would no longer, would now walk. Yes. Okay, and that was our last slide, so our presentation has ended, I think. Let's see. The lab is now concluded. This is lab 10, so if you want to go on over and take the quiz associated with lab 10, and good luck on that, and I'll see you again right back here with lab 11.